to the Passion and Purpose Unleashed interview series. My name is Belinda Hayward, and I am a practicing herbalist, nutritionist, health and results coach, psychic energy healer, life purpose astrologer, and human design and gene key student. In this series, I'm talking with guest speakers who themselves are aligned with their passion and purpose, and part of their work, part of their legacy is really supporting others to also cultivate that passion and purpose. So my special guest is Irina Webster, and Irina is a medical doctor turned medical intuitive, who is the founder of Intuitive Healing Power, where she passionately teaches medical intuition and intuitive healing, which is where our paths actually crossed initially. We think about 4 years ago. And Irina also does private and public sessions. She's written several best-selling books on healing and wellness, including The Secret Energy of Your Body. And Irina really believes that you can facilitate radical healing at a much deeper level than what we've been told in our culture to believe in. And I wholeheartedly agree with this. So, Irina, welcome.
Thank you, Belinda. It's my pleasure to be here. And everything, I agree with everything what you just have said. Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. So, and so, of course, this series is all about passion. Now, what are you passionate about when it comes to supporting others on their healing journey?
Well, I'm very passionate to help people heal themselves. So what I teach people that you can heal yourself, and well, it's like your purpose to heal yourself. And in fact, your life purpose is connected to healing yourself. So I believe that people can find their purpose through the journey of healing themselves.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. And so, and as I said earlier in the intro, you were a medical doctor. And I think, did you say you qualified originally in Russia and you were practicing there, then you came over here and were practicing, and then you came across medical intuition, which kind of seems quite polar opposites in a lot of ways, kind of going from orthodox to kind of really quite alternative in a lot of ways. So tell me about that transition and how coming across that type of work really shifted your purpose and your work in the world.
Oh, it's absolutely, yes, I would love to speak about that. So I practiced as a conventional medical doctor for 14 years of my life.
Wow.
So before I changed my occupation, and the people ask me all the time about this transitioning. Well, the transitioning or like a breakthrough was my personal illness. Yes, I graduated medicine in Russia, and I worked as a medical doctor, as a pediatric specialist in Russia, and I was also specialized in immunology and allergy. And this is where, like when I did my post-graduation studies in immunology, in children immunology and allergy, I came across a topic, it's called psychoneuroimmunology. It was back in like when I was a junior doctor in early 90s, and this is how I got introduced, of like it was my introduction to intuition, and that behind every illness there is something much deeper than what conventional medicine tell us. So this is how I started. Like it's when my mindset shifted. It was back in Russia in early 90s. But yes, I still was practicing as a conventional doctor in Russia when I came to Australia in 2001, and I passed medical test to be able to practice conventional medicine in Australia. And I worked as a conventional medical doctor in Canberra Hospital for about 3.5 years until a breakthrough. A breakthrough that came to me through my illness. So my illness changed my path, changed who I am, and changed my purpose. But I believe it didn't change my purpose, but it's actually helped me to understand what my purpose was in the beginning. So yes, what happened to me is that I got sick when I was working as a medical doctor in the Canberra Hospital. I developed a illness, and it was a personal medical problem. I developed a severe uterine bleeding, and I was bleeding like for months and months, and I lost so much blood that I was collapsing. I fainted a few times. I fainted as a medical doctor, doing medical shifts in the hospital. I collapsed on the floor from blood loss. So I had to go to specialist, gynecologist. So he sent me for medical tests, and he found that I had fibroids. Fibroids are tumors inside the uterus. It's not cancer, but it's benign tumors that cause severe bleeding. So my doctor sent me to have surgery. He gave me a referral to have surgery, to have everything removed, and he said, Irina, you will bleed to death unless you have them removed.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and he was a very experienced doctor in Canberra, very experienced gynecologist in his late 50s. And I was only 37 at the time when it happened. And yes, I was sitting with him in his office, listening to what he was saying to me, that I will bleed to death unless I go for operation and have everything removed. And at this particular time, when he talked to me, I heard a voice that came from the middle part of my body, not from my head, but from the inside of my body.
Yeah.
And this voice started talking to me.
Wow.
And yes, and what this voice told me, that you will be fine. It's like what the voice told me, you will be fine, don't go. So, well, I was kind of an intuitive person. I consider myself intuitive because I always listen to my feelings, inner feelings. So I decided in this particular situation, I really decided to listen to my inner voice. So I took a referral, and I said to my doctor, thank you so much. I will consider surgery. I didn't argue with him because when you hear your inner voice, you don't feel like arguing or you don't feel defensive. When people feel defensive and when they're trying to argue the point, it's fear talking.
True.
So when you feel your inner voice, or you hear your inner voice, it gives you so much certainty because your intuition is your best friend and advisor.
True.
It gives you certainty, so you feel like, I trust my inner voice. And I don't want to argue with anybody. I don't want to be defensive because I don't feel defensive. I have this certainty because I hear my inner voice. So this is what I said. Thank you so much. I will consider surgery. But when I came home, I had only one thought in my mind, that I need to experience a vibrational state.
Yeah.
Vibrational state, it's when you feel, sense.
Yeah.
The vibrations or like electricity, energy inside your own cells, inside your own tissue. And I did. I have a special process to feel subtle energy. And when I go into this vibrational state, I can tune into the organs. And at this particular time when I connect to my organs, I connected to my uterus. I saw the tumors.
Wow.
I was in this state, vibrational state. I connected to my uterus and I saw these tumors. It's called inner eye. Inner eye, this is a natural ability we all have. We all can tune into our organs and know what's going on. So I activated my inner eye. I saw the tumors, and then I saw a green light came in through the top of my head, went into my uterus, and started cleansing my uterus from the inside. Like the inside out, like a laser treatment. You know, like laser, people go to have laser treatment for different problems. And I felt it. I felt the whole process, how this green light removed tumors from my uterus. So on the next morning, my bleeding reduced, maybe like about 70% less.
Wow.
I still had some bleeding, so I continued to experience the same healing process for 3 days because I had a sick leave. I didn't have to go to work. So for 3 days, I was experiencing this vibrational state. And after 3 days, my bleeding totally stopped.
Wow.
Totally. Yes. And I never had the problem return to me. Like I was 37, now I'm 52, and I never had the same problems come back.
Wow.
Yes, I believe that I expelled the tumors when I saw this green light came through the top of my head and I felt the vibrations of my own cells. I expelled the tumors. But this episode in my life totally changed my consciousness because I realized that, well, who healed me? Doctors didn't heal me, they did nothing.
No.
I didn't have any tablets or treatment, so it was not the actual operation or tablet or procedure.
No.
Something else healed me. And I became curious. What is that? What was the power that healed me? So I did a lot of research and I realized that this was intuitive healing power. I call it intuitive healing power that we all have, and we all can connect to this power. So this was my breakthrough. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Energy.
yeah, and you touched on so many important things there because I think at the early, at the beginning of our chat, you were saying about how, that's something that's on your heart that you're passionate about, really kind of giving, empowering people to activate their healing. And I think that's
right.
different from the medical system where, and you see it every day, people go to their doctors and they almost expect a tablet or they expect something because we're so conditioned to think that's the only way. And I know even as a herbalist nutritionist, people come to me and they'll often sort of, you can give them various advice and sometimes I'll talk to them about various emotions, but so often they're conditioned, they just want the supplements, they want the quick fix. And it's like, well, as you said, it's like the more and more people kind of go inwards and listen to their intuition and trust it, because you're right, I believe that as well. We all have that capability, but none of us have really been taught how to access it, how to utilize it, how to trust it, how to act on it. So I think, as I said, that is amazing. And you're right, it's interesting that, as you said, when you heard that voice, it was just so strong for you that, as you said, you didn't want to challenge it, you didn't want to say to the doctor or the gynecologist, you're just like, nah, that's fine. Thank you for that. Thanks for the referral. And then, as you said, you went away and trusted and acted on your intuitive hit, which is, it's amazing. So I can see how, obviously, as you said, that would totally change the way that you practiced and how you supported people with their healing. So
that's right. Yes. After researching it like a bit further, and I did a lot of medical intuition courses after this experience. So I realized that if I go back and continue the same practice like I did before, just giving people prescriptions for tablets or to have surgery, but I wouldn't take these tablets or like surgery myself.
No.
So I had this kind of internal conflict in me.
True.
And this was like another breakthrough that I realized that I need to follow my passion. And I really like saw my passion. At this particular time, I saw what my passion and my purpose in life was, to teach people to realize their intuitive healing power. So yes, it's what I do now. I run intuitive healing practitioner courses. I run several books. I developed programs and trainings to change people's mind, to change people's consciousness.
Yes, to realize that there is a different way than what we've been
That's
taught. Like,
right.
as we said, that's not the only option. Like, there's a time and a place for everything. I think emergency medicine and stuff like that's got a place.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
so there's definitely
Absolutely.
things. But as we said, I think sometimes people don't realize that they do have a lot more power than what they think. And it's not a way. And that's where,
Absolutely.
and I know myself, when I've gone through illnesses, you almost do go through that hopelessness, like, and you're doctor Googling everything and
That's
going to
right.
different practitioners. And, you almost feel just hopeless with the situation. So to be able to think that, you can actually start doing some of your own, healing work. And it was funny. And I was going to say, when I had COVID earlier in the year, it was like, I literally, I kind of instantly knew I had it, but that was part of, I obviously to isolate it, because that was when you still had to isolate, and my partner had to isolate, and I was doing all the antimicrobials and stuff like that, natural stuff. But I was doing a lot of energetic healing as well. Like, it was like I just kept trusting what my body was doing, working with my immune system, really working with my nervous system, because I kept getting that intuitive hit. Belinda, as soon as you go into fear, you're going to depress your immune system. So it was
That's right.
so it was interesting. And I think, as I said, if we
Yes.
can leverage the best of both worlds, perfect.
Absolutely. Yes. No, I never go against conventional medicine. And I actually believe that in the age of Aquarius,
Yes.
that we have entered after the pandemic, the age of Aquarius, the age of energy, science and spirituality are together. They are together. There is no separation, because both science work with energy. Now we have neuroscience. Everything I teach is proven by neuroscience. Everything I teach is proven by psychoneuroimmunology, neuroscience, quantum physics. So science work with energy, and spirituality.
Yes.
The most important aspect in spirituality is to understand your own energy.
Yes.
You stop figuring out what's happening with other people, figure out your own energy. Subtle energies that run through your body, which affect your health, your mental health, physical health, your whole life. And this energy affect other people.
True.
So by understanding your energy, you actually start care for other people when you understand how your energy affect the other people.
Yes, true. And it was interesting. You just touched on it with the psychoneuroimmunology. So, because I know that's what you've had that special interest in, that makes sense. And you know how there's quite a few different, like, you're probably familiar with Dr. Gabar Mate and some of those people that are out there. And even when they talk about the Cancer personality, and they say about the repressed anger and things like that, or the people-pleasing tendencies, which I think a lot of us women can, relate to, unfortunately. But just with that, so from my understanding, the psychoneuroimmunology is kind of how thoughts and beliefs and emotions and things like that, how they impact the nervous and the immune systems, which so with that, how do you work with clients then on shifting at that level to help them with their healing, or being able to, I guess, move through some of those emotional patterns or thought patterns?
Yes, but there are lots of techniques that I use and that I teach what to do. So first of all, every illness, so behind every illness, there is an emotional component.
I believe that, yeah.
Every illness, even genetic illness, has an emotional component attached to it. And emotions that cause illnesses, they are not the emotions that are obvious, but the emotions which are totally not obvious, and the person who is sick not even aware that he or she lives his life using these emotions. They not if they were aware and if the emotions were obvious, it would be easier, and we probably wouldn't even have so many illnesses if everything was so obvious. But illnesses created by emotions that people suppress, deny, and these emotions go inside the cells and becomes cellular memories.
Yeah.
So people do not aware, they have no awareness.
No, they don't.
So this is what I take them through, process, like certain techniques, processes that I developed to make them realize these unconscious patterns.
Yes.
So they can become aware of it and start releasing these emotional patterns through special techniques.
Yes.
Change the pattern. So this is one way, just to become aware of your emotional patterns. The other way is to work with the energy of your own body. All emotions create energetic frequency. So emotions, thoughts that run like they in you, in your consciousness, and they create energetic frequencies.
Well, that's like that. I was going to say that David Hawkins scale of consciousness, you know, and he
Right.
sort of, and I mean, didn't he say most people are 200 or less almost on the scale where there's fear and shame and guilt and all of that. And yeah, so you're right. I mean, it makes it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other way to heal, to help them heal, is to work with their energy. Really feel what kind of energy is produced by the organs, especially when organs become sick. Organs start to produce different energy, and it's possible to feel it. Like your hands can help you feel the energy that comes from your organs. For example, if I feel the energy of my throat, I don't have anything with my throat, like I have healthy throat. So right now I feel the energy that comes from a healthy organ, totally healthy. But if I have some infection, like COVID, I got a COVID or any flu, and I start sensing my throat, I would feel different energy. Inflammation, infection produce different energy. It's possible to feel using your hands. And it's possible to remove the energy of illness, because illnesses produce energy, frequency. And it is possible to pick it up with your hand and release it, clean it. Your hands can clean your organs. Your hands can clean your energy, your body parts, and then energize your organs with positive, constructive energy. So this is another way to heal, to help yourself heal, using your hands and sensing subtle energy in your body. So it's not just hands feel energy, your body, your organs feel energy. So sensing subtle energy inside your organs. Like when I had to heal myself, I sensed subtle energy in my uterus. If you have problems with throat, like if you have COVID or infection.
Mm.
You have to sense energy in your throat or maybe in your lungs.
Yes. Mm.
If you have cancer in anywhere, you need to tune in the place of cancer and sense the energy of the tumor, because tumors produce different energetic frequency.
Yes. Okay.
And you can correct the flow of energy and help yourself heal. And moreover, you can manipulate the energy using your hands. So it's so many techniques to learn.
Which is
So
great,
if
isn't
you,
it? So
yes,
empowering to think
yes,
that as we all have our hands, we can all sort of,
that's right.
use that.
That's
So
right.
totally makes
Yeah.
sense. So just with that, if you got like one or two, kind of client success stories that are really on your heart, that really kind of show the power and potency of your work.
Well, okay. So just for example, the basic technique, the basic, just what I use normally even just for demonstration, it's called body scan. It's body scan. It's when you scan your body like an X-ray vision using subtle energy. You scan your body with using your attention, but what you're actually scanning is your subtle energy, layer by layer, like an X-ray vision. So I remember a client came to me about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Her name was Anna. So Anna had frequent gallbladder attacks. So it was like her gallbladder attacks became basically unbearable. She ended up having morphine. Like morphine is anesthetic, like nearly every month she had to go to emergency department and had morphine like stick into her vein to reduce her pain, like a painkiller, because of the gallbladder attack. And doctors suggested surgery to have everything removed, like gallbladder removed and some ducts through which bile run. And her intuition like told her that she was not very comfortable with removing everything. She didn't want operation. So she came to me and just told about her problem. So what I did, I thought, okay, I'll teach you how to do body scan. It's just the most basic without even going deep into the body. So I showed her how to do body scan. And she started doing body scan technique. Every day she was doing body scan. She was scanning her body layer by layer. And every day. And she noticed that 2 to 3 days before each attack, she felt warm sensations in her liver and gallbladder. So when she felt these warm sensations, when she was doing body scan, she took herbal medicine to release bile from the gallbladder. So to empty the gallbladder. And she avoided having attacks.
Wow.
Altogether. And she could only feel these warm sensations. It's how she described it to me. It's like warm, like heat run through liver and gallbladder. She could only feel it.
Wow.
Because she was doing body scan. It's no way for her to feel it without body scan. So it just basic things like that helped a person to avoid surgery, and she's still doing the body scan every day, and this is how she control her gallbladder problems.
Wow. And I've heard actually that that's really painful, gallbladder attacks. Like I've heard that
That's
that's like
right.
childbirth. I've heard it's so painful. So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
wow, that's amazing.
And her gallbladder attacks become less and less frequent. So now she may have maybe once a year, something like that. But because she managed to scan her body and identify exactly the time before the attack, and she feel it like warm sensations.
Interesting.
Yeah, another story I can tell you from my clients. Similar things with just basic body scan. The person had an asthma attacks, and by scanning her body layer by layer, she identified uncomfortable like sensations in her airways before asthma attacks. So like she felt this like some sort of discomfort, very, very subtle, a few days, maybe a day or 2 days before each asthma attack. And she could take also natural medicine. And she stopped having asthma attacks. Maybe she still maybe has them, but very infrequently. And it's how she controlled going into asthma crisis.
Wow. So just on that, does it always correspond with that body organ where the energy change is? Like, so for instance, when you said about with the gallbladder, how she sensed the heat around the gallbladder and the liver, could it sometimes be triggered by, like, say, the small intestines or something? And same with the lungs, could that be sort of triggered by the adrenals or something? Like, does it sometimes the energy patterns are at a different organ or body system from where the issue is, if that makes sense?
Yes, absolutely. Our organs, they're all interconnected. Everything in the body is interconnected. So when people master just body scan, it's just one of the most basic techniques. And body scan, it's when you scan your body layer by layer. So yes, you can identify that something may be triggered in the guts, but your problems is actually maybe in the liver. But initial sensations you feel is in your guts. Or just in panic attacks. You can also prevent panic attacks by doing just simple body scan. But initial trigger may come from guts or from lungs. But you can only feel it by scanning your body with energy, your attention. But it's actually what you scan with your attention is energy.
Yes, and it makes sense. I mean, as soon as you start placing your attention somewhere, you do start to feel the energy build in that area. It makes sense,
That's right.
like as they say, where your energy goes, the energy sort of
Yeah.
follows. Like,
Yeah. Energy flow where your attention
attention
goes.
goes. Exactly. So just on that, do you have any like little processes or anything that you can sort of share that people could start implementing or being conscious of when it comes to this kind of work?
Well, absolutely. So all the techniques, of course, they take a little bit of time. All the techniques that I teach, it must be practiced from the intuitive part of the brain, mind. So not from the logic. Right now, we both using logic mind. So all the techniques, when you sense energy, feel energy, you can only feel it using intuitive part of the mind, not logic. So it does take time, but the most basic one that I can recommend people. So if you have problems in an organ or a body part, maybe you have pain in your joint somewhere, maybe hands, arthritis, or you have pain in the liver or heart, just simple focusing on this organ. So bring your attention intuitively to this organ and start focusing on this organ and connecting your breath with this organ, breathing through this organ. Like visualize that your breath flowing through this organ, like that. You have problems with liver. You can just close your eyes, bring your attention to your liver, start breathing, and then when you exhale, push the air through liver. Like you feel like your breath flowing through your liver or any other organs, maybe hands. You have arthritis in your hands. The same things. You just sit quietly, put your hands on your lap, focus on your hands. And then when you exhale, push the air through your hands and then feel that your breath, the air flowing through your hands. And keep breathing through your hands or any other organ, maybe your heart, maybe your throat, maybe your eyes. You can do it with your eyes. Any organ. Bring your attention and keep breathing, like visualize your breath flowing through the organ or body part that you need to heal. Just simple things like that can create healing, like healing differences in your body.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because you're changing the energetic state there. It's like, as we said, you're bringing air through there and so definitely makes sense. So I'm going to ask this, the last question I want to ask you.
Yes.
So I want you to imagine you're 85 years old now, you're being interviewed. It's like, this is your life, Tell me what impact is on your heart that you'd like to be known for or remembered by?
Well, I just follow your passion. Don't follow where the convention pushing you to go. Tune into your heart. Like I explained before, bring your attention to your heart. Push your breath through your heart and listen to what your heart is saying to you. And follow what your heart answers. Don't follow where you're pushed by everybody, but follow what your heart telling you need to do.
Excellent. Oh, no, that's such good advice. So thank you so much today. We could talk all day. It's so very interesting,
yes, absolutely.
Isn't it?
It's very interesting. Yes.
Thank you so much.
And it's healing.
Oh,
yes, when you listen to your heart, you connect to your purpose, and this is healing.
It so definitely is. So thank you so much. And we'll leave your links so people can follow you and find out more about your beautiful work that you've got out there. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All the best.
Thank you, Belinda. My pleasure. All the best to you too.
Thank you. Much love. Bye.